All right.
So I saw your video reacting to my debate with Dr. Greger. Um, and you did just agree to debate me on the erythritol topic. So what was your what's your stance on erythritol right now exactly? Like, do you think it should be avoided, dangerous? Like what?
I think it should be used in moderation. There's been studies to where it can be harmful, that it can cause blood clots and stuff. So I use very little of it. I do use it there in stevia, but I use it very sparingly. I may use it maybe once on Sunday, or if I'm if I'm making oatmeal, for example, I will use stevia. I just think that it should be used in moderation. But I really don't have too much of a position there. I used to use it a bunch whenever I was competing.
Okay.
But the real issue I had is that you went and confronted Dr. Greger at a inopportune time, and then you had to ask yourself there. The one thing I hate most is these gotcha debates, to where a person's walking along, minding his own business there, just staring at the clouds, and then all of a sudden there's an invasion of things there. Now
Okay.
I
Well,
definitely get that he decided to discuss things with you and everything, but you know what I mean, bruh.
okay, well, how about we debate erythritol specifically first, and then we can talk about whether or not it was appropriate for me to confront Dr. Greger.
Well, that's fine there,
All right, well,
but I've just explained my position as far as that
sure.
stuff is concerned.
Yeah, sure.
hmm
So, did you read the erythritol study by any chance, or did you just read some articles about it?
I read nothing about it there. I'm going
Okay,
on information. I'm going on ancient information there. Whenever I first started using it, and we're talking like maybe 15 years ago, because I used it for competing. My last show was in 2009, so
right.
it's not something that I keep. It's not something I really keep up with there.
And your kind of fear about erythritol is that it can cause clotting.
That's correct. If it's overused.
Okay, well, there's no research suggesting that it causes clotting. You realize that?
Right. I'm not, again, I don't go by research there. I mean, in this particular case, I go by what people told me there whenever I started taking and whenever I was competing. Now, the person that was training me at the time, whenever I was competing, says, "Hey, don't use too much of this shit, and stuff, because it can really mess you up there.
Okay, well,
You can get a heart attack."
the only thing it can do in high doses is trigger diarrhea.
Well, no, I mean there are studies there that says it does blood clotting there.
No, no, there aren't. I can explain to you what's been going on, especially with the latest study that's been published.
But that's fine. Go ahead and enlighten me there, cousin.
Right. So, there aren't any studies on erythritol linking it to blood clotting or even showing a causal link between erythritol consumption or serum concentrations like in your blood and cardiac events like heart attack or stroke. So, just recently, there was that study published. You probably heard about it in the media, where erythritol was linked with cardiac death. So, what happened there is they found a bunch of very sick patients. So, most of them had diabetes, heart disease. A lot of them already had a heart attack before. They're overweight, and they found a correlation between serum erythritol levels and cardiac death. So the people who had the highest risk of cardiac death had higher serum erythritol levels. Now, erythritol is actually produced endogenously within your own body, and it's part of glucose metabolism. It's a kind of byproduct. Now, if you have diabetes, you're actually going to produce much more erythritol than a normal person. So you can kind of see where I'm going there, where the people who were the most sick in the study, so diabetic, They were probably just producing more erythritol levels, but because they were more sick, they had a higher chance of dying. So that epidemiological study that was conducted doesn't really draw a link between erythritol and cardiac death. Like, there's just not really any way to confirm a causal link there. The only other research with erythritol and clotting are in vitro and in vivo experiments. So in vitro just means outside of an organism, in vivo means within an organism. So with in vitro experiments, you're usually talking about like exposing something in a petri dish to something else. In this case, human blood. Now, what's misreported is that erythritol triggered clotting in vitro and in vivo. That's not what happened. So what they did was they exposed human blood to collagen, and if you expose human blood to collagen, it's going to form clots. It's simulating an injury. So if you cut yourself, blood is exposed to collagen, and then it forms clots. That's how bleeding stops. Now, what they did was they put erythritol, human blood, and collagen in a petri dish and compared that to just blood and collagen. The blood, collagen, and erythritol just clotted faster than just the blood and collagen alone. And same within the rodent study, the in vivo experiments, they induced endothelial cell damage using a specific type of device in rats. That's what actually caused the clotting, but when they fed rats erythritol, they just formed clots faster. That's it. And I think they formed clots about 250 seconds faster.
Right,
So,
man. That leads to the issue that I had there. What you're describing is, yes, these people were sick, but the thing about it is, urethral was actually developed for people like that. The reason why they make sugar substitutes like aspartame and stuff like that, and those little pink coffee things, is for diabetics here, so they're not intaking too much sugar there.
well, sure.
What you're basically what you're stating is, you're never going to find a perfect test subject there. The people that were tested are people that should be on it there. I mean, if you're going to test a sugar substitute on someone, it's going to definitely be a diabetic, because a diabetic is going to be a person that's going
Well,
to
they
be
didn't
most
measure
likely going
intake.
to use a lot of it there.
Well,
Huh?
in the epidemiological study I'm talking about, they didn't measure intake, so it's entirely possible that none of the subjects were consuming any erythritol at all. Again, it's produced endogenously in the body. So what you'd really need ideally is a randomized trial with a group consuming high amount of erythritol versus a group consuming no or maybe a little bit of erythritol, and see if there's any difference in health outcomes between the groups. Because
Well, no, I
again,
mean, you can't test the person there with the high amounts there as a test subject there. Because there's a chance that you can actually end up killing the
no,
person there.
no, you can.
Clot.
No.
If you
So
if you give
it's so it
Richard,
wouldn't.
well,
Okay,
let me get you on that there, cousin.
sure.
Here, okay? Because if you're talking about testing someone with a high amount of erythritol, well, let's say that they have a serious reaction to that high erythritol, and they end up getting a blood clot. They can die. There's only so there. I definitely get that and I agree with you there that there should be a randomized test and everything like that. But you can only go so far as the testing it. That's why they do it on rats. Which, again, some of your vegan friends even have a problem with them testing rats itself. There.
Yeah. So there's
The reason why I have to go with Dr. Greger's study is because the study was conducted in the best sense possible there.
no,
You
it
know.
wasn't. No, it wasn't. Randomized trial would be the best. And again, there's not an ethical issue with conducting a randomized trial with erythritol because, again, it is FDA. It's an FDA approved food ingredient. It's considered safe. So if you wanted to conduct a randomized trial, it wouldn't even have to go through an ethics board. You could just do it. You can also ask Dr. Avi about that. He's actually involved in research, and he'll tell you there's no way there'd be any ethical issue with testing erythritol in a randomized setting. And on top of that, there's no evidence whatsoever demonstrating that it can actually cause clotting. What has happened so far is that they have induced clotting either in vitro or in vivo in rodents by using either collagen or a device that triggers clotting, and then they added erythritol. There's actually no evidence whatsoever that erythritol itself triggers clotting.
Okay. But you miss my point on that there. You're going by based on the particular study there. That's only a one possibility as far as to what you're stating there. But what you're saying there in order to what should be done can't be done there, or at least done safely there,
Wait, sorry. Why would it be unsafe to conduct a randomized trial on erythritol?
Because if you give someone a high dose, there is still that possibility that they can form blood clots here. That's why they
Well, there's
test
a
them on athletes.
possibility if you sell peanut butter, somebody with an allergy is going to eat it and die. Like, I mean, to what extent do you
Well, a
think there's
person's
a
gonna
risk?
Well, a person's gonna know whether they're allergic to peanuts or not, though.
Well, they're not going to know until they fucking eat a peanut, right?
Well, no, they would. I mean, doctors can diagnose whether someone has a peanut allergy there.
Okay, well,
And
when
that's
you
what
were a
they do
kid,
most of the
were
time.
you
They
diagnosed
diagnose.
with whether or not you had a peanut allergy?
No, my mom just shoved peanuts and everything else in front of
Right,
me there.
so your
I ate
average
it. I
person
threw up
isn't
there.
going to know if they have a peanut allergy unless they eat peanuts. So do you think peanuts should be taken off store shelves?
Absolutely not, though. I mean, and here's the thing there, Richard.
Like, again, I
I
don't
can go.
understand how you can
We can.
establish that there's a great enough risk of erythritol causing clotting where you cannot, in good conscience, conduct a randomized trial.
Well, because they tested out the rats there. We
It,
just
it didn't cause
were going
clotting.
around and it caused. But you're up there saying that okay, they put some collagen in it. Big deal. What else are they supposed to do there, Richard? I
Okay,
mean, I'm
do
being
you
serious.
understand what I said? That erythritol didn't cause the clotting. They induced clotting by other means, right? So
Well,
there hasn't been a
that's what
link
testing's
between
all.
erythritol and blood clots.
That's what testing is all about. You got to go in different scenarios here. My whole thing, my whole
My
thing about it
argument
is
is there's no evidence currently linking erythritol to either the formation of blood clots or cardiac death. So, what's your
you
argument in favor of having a precautionary principle against consuming erythritol or consuming it in moderation, or conducting a randomized trial in an attempt to confirm whether or not there is a health risk?
are you saying that there is absolutely positively no possibility that taking erythritol would cause any clotting there
That's
that
not what
someone
I'm
can go
saying. I'm saying there's
hold
no
on.
indication that it would. So why would there be? Why would you create a precautionary principle against the consumption of erythritol and conducting a randomized trial to confirm whether or not there is in fact a causal link between erythritol and cardiac deaths?
Oh boy. Richard, let me explain something to you there. Before the stuff got FDA approved there, it would have already been tested for any type of possibility things that can happen there. That would include anything such as toe jam medication there, as far as to, okay, toe jam medication, there is a 1% or 2% possibility that it can cause a heart attack there, or that it can cause you to go blind there. They still have to report any type of possibilities that can happen there. So this stuff here, and I'm going to put it out there, it is still possible that it can cause clotting, regardless. Let's put away test all to the side there. Before the stuff got FDA approved, they have to list any type of possibilities as far as any conditions that this can possibly cause there, regardless as to whether it's minimal or not there before it can be FDA approved. You
Okay,
know,
well, it is
that's
FDA
why they
approved.
that's why they put warning labels on Tylenol.
Okay, well, it is FDA approved.
Yes, it is FDA approved there. You
So
can have there's plenty there, just about every FDA approved product there is gonna have a label saying warning, this may cause this and that. You've seen those commercials with the medicines and stuff like that to where, they have a person running out in the field of flowers, and then all of a sudden they start listing off all the names of possibilities of things that can happen there. They even list the possibility of this stuff causing death there. Now, obviously,
okay,
there's a rare chance of that happening, and I've never heard of any cases of that happening, but it could still happen there. You may be that one in a
I
million. You may be able
I'm
to win the lottery.
Okay,
I
I'm
mean,
just I'm just
I
trying
would
to.
consider it the lottery chance of winning, but guess what? People still win the lottery,
Okay,
you know?
sorry. So your epistemic standard for whether or not you should recommend something is safe or conduct a randomized trial to test its safety is if there's absolutely zero chance of it ever harming anyone.
Well, as I always say, better safe than to be sorry there, you know?
Okay, so then you
Like
would
I said, my
recommend
position
against the consumption of peanuts, and there should never be any randomized trial on replacement of some food with peanuts.
well,
Because
I
there
mean, as
are
far
peanut deaths. On average, about per year, there's around 200 deaths related to peanuts, where
yeah, and
there's an allergic
they won
reaction
the
causing anaphylaxis.
yeah, they won the lottery, you know?
So, okay, so then you're against peanut consumption, and you don't think there should ever be any study involving peanuts.
There's already been plenty of studies involving peanuts
Okay,
here.
but you would be
I mean,
against
well,
that, right?
Richard, there's so many substances out there to where, even though I may not have interacted with it, I may touch some particular flower and I may have an allergic reaction that I don't know about there.
So you're
And it's
against
possible.
studying anything or recommend making any dietary recommendations or medication recommendations because somebody could possibly be harmed.
Well, in a sense, there should be studies there, but the studies that you're talking about there, there is a possibility to where someone can get killed there.
Okay,
As
but
far as the
but
blood
we're
clots.
talking about your epistemic standard here for whether or not you could, in good conscience, recommend something, or recommend against consuming something, or conducting a randomized trial. So, is
Right.
your epistemic standard that it can never harm anybody ever?
Well, that's the argument that I'm making there. You're trying to state that this stuff is not going to cause any possible
That's not what
harm.
I'm saying.
I disagree.
That's not what I'm
I
saying. I'm
disagree.
saying there's not a threshold. Well, sorry, there has not been any evidence suggesting that this is dangerous, erythritol. So, like, yeah, in theory, somebody could be allergic to it and get a severe reaction, or maybe if you like eat an entire bucket of it, like you could end up having a problem. But like, there's no evidence that if you give this to a population of people, it increases the risk of dying by any degree.
Yeah, but here's the thing there. How do you know whether they had died from the stuff or not there?
Well,
A
that's why
lot of
you'd need
things,
a randomized
I
trial.
think it's no different than COVID there. Because a lot of people could have died of COVID there, but it was misdiagnosed as something else there, like dying of pneumonia, for
Okay,
example
well,
there.
that's
But
not
your
the same
your
thing. We're,
your
we're talking
idea
about exposures and risk of death.
But Richard, your idea as far as testing to see whether it works is not ethical, in my opinion. There,
Okay,
we're not going to
on
go
what basis?
on the basis you're wanting a randomization. I have no problem with, but going out and giving a person a very high dose of this stuff here, you know, y- who knows what can happen there? That's why they
I, I
test it
d-
on rats here.
okay, so you would be against having a randomized trial where somebody could possibly have an allergic reaction to something. So that includes any vaccines, any food items, including peanuts, because there's a possibility that somebody could be harmed.
It just varies as far as the what we're talking about there. This
I,
stuff
I, I don't
here.
understand why it would matter what we're talking about. Like the epistemic standard you seem to be setting is that because there's a chance erythritol could possibly be harmful to somebody, therefore it shouldn't be studied in a randomized setting.
It should be studied in a randomized setting, but one of those studies can't be by giving a regular person a high dose of the stuff there, just as you would do with a rat
Okay,
there.
well, it could be.
And
I
you're
don't know
trying
what
to
you'd
and
consider a
think about
high
it,
dose, but it will like
but you're
you'd
comparing
have to
something that
be you'd have to like the assumption would be you'd have to at least give enough to where realistically somebody would consume that amount of the whatever the exposure is, in this case being erythritol.
okay. Well, I tell you what here. Here's what you should do. You should take a whole bottle of this here and just drink it and see what happens. If you don't get any blood clots, then you're perfectly fine there. You're trying to compare peanuts, which grows into the ground, peanuts that my mom and myself actually picked when I was a little kid, and you're comparing it to something that's made and manufactured there. I mean,
Or
it's not
well,
the same
peanuts
there.
are made and manufactured. Like peanut butter is made and manufactured. I like. By the way, erythritol exists endogenously in your body. Your own body produces it.
It
You're
doesn't
acting like
produce
it's
as
a
much as
completely
what you
synthetic product.
it doesn't produce as much as what's going to be in a bottle there. Your body doesn't produce that much there,
Okay, but
not as compared
like
to what
again,
you
what is
think
the
there.
like again, please, what is the evidence that erythritol could be assumed to have enough danger that it would recommend where it would make sense for you to recommend against consuming it?
Okay, let me ask you a question. Where did they get it from? They had to have gotten it from before testing it for before it got approved for FDA approval there. Now,
Wait, that's not
I've
an
already
answer to my
explained,
question.
Richard. I just answered it there, and here's
No,
the
you
thing
didn't.
there,
I asked
Richard,
you
Richard,
on like what's the
Richard,
evidence in favor
Richard.
of it being harmful and would support the idea of avoiding it.
Richard, do you remember what I told you at first there? What my information is? I've not read any research papers. I've not taken any studies of the stuff there. The information that I'm going by is simply whenever I was competing, Buddy told me, hey, don't take too much of this stuff. And that's what I go by there. That's it. I've not read
So
any
if
research
somebody,
papers.
okay, so if somebody were to tell you apples, you should avoid apples because they'll cause diabetes, would you just blindly accept that advice?
Whenever I was competing there, if someone told me not to eat apples, I wouldn't eat it there. If someone had told at that point in time
Okay,
there,
if somebody were
whenever
to
I was
tell
competing,
you to
you
eat
have
poop off the ground, would you have eaten it if they told you it's good for you and it'll help you lose weight faster?
but they wouldn't have told, but they didn't tell me that there, Richard.
Okay, but
No, I
you
wouldn't
would
go any
because
further.
apparently you just accept
I'm
whatever
not
is
going to go
told
with
to you when you're competing.
poop is waste there, is a waste product. Okay?
Okay.
Poop is a waste product. All right? Now people will say that you shouldn't eat bugs, but a lot of ice creams are made with insects here. Uh,
What?
you're arguing
Sorry,
some
bug ice
Richard.
cream?
Yeah, some countries they use bugs in order to make ice cream. You should look that up sometime.
I've never heard of that.
But
And by the way, eating insects is dangerous. You shouldn't eat
the
them.
real
But
point
that's a
really
different.
isn't Richard. The real point really isn't the sugar substitute. It has nothing to do. My main issue with you is you going and confronting Dr. Greger. If you two want to have a debate
Okay, well,
about the stuff that's well,
we
hold on,
agreed to
look, let
debate
me
that later.
cousin. Let me finish what I'm saying. If you two want to go and debate it, that's perfectly fine. You've read research papers, he's done research. You two would be an even match, but you're up here arguing with someone to where, and I'll admit there that I have let's just say I have anecdotal evidence that the stuff is harmful based upon what someone told me while I was training there. I have anecdotal evidence. You
Well,
have
I
the
have more
research
than
papers.
anecdotal evidence that peanuts are harmful. About 200 people per year in the U.S. alone die from them. So should we ban peanuts?
No, we shouldn't ban peanuts here. But do you see
Okay,
my
why?
point there? You're arguing with someone that's not read any research papers or anything like that. Okay,
You're
this is
claiming you have
Richard,
anecdotal evidence. Well, you're claiming you
Richard,
have. We can
Richard.
use your
You,
evidence standards and apply that to other
I
things. Like
don't
again,
have
if you're going to use
Richard.
this as an epistemic standard, like we'd have to ban peanuts.
Well, I'm using anecdotal evidence here. That's why you need to go and debate Dr. Greger on his own grounds. The reason being is because he's done the research. He goes and does all the research papers. You've obviously read research papers and stuff like that. But you're trying to argue with someone that hasn't read any research papers here. Okay. As far as this stuff is concerned, there, Richard, and I'm going to make this very clear. I'm going to use this in very modern, I'm going to use this in moderation there. I'm not going to take too much of this stuff here. Better safe than to be sorry. I don't need to read a research paper and I don't need to go and experiment on myself to see whether it's dangerous or not there. Okay. I'll take the anecdotal evidence on any day whatsoever. And because I've already eaten plenty of peanuts here and stuff like that, and I know I don't have an allergy, I'm gonna be perfectly fine with that. I'm gonna do me, in other words, here, Richard. I'm gonna do me. Now, like I said before, you wanted to argue about some sugar substitutes. I've given my position. I've explained as far as the why I have that position here, okay? And it's not based on any research papers here.
All
If you
right.
want to You
Well,
should be.
if
The
you're going
thing
to
about
admit
it
you're
is,
just basing this off anecdotal evidence and it's just your,
I just said
personal
that.
view, then sure. Okay, whatever.
I
Well,
just said that. I
I've,
said that in the
I've,
very beginning.
well, sure.
I said that in the very beginning.
I think I'm
If you want to go,
satisfied then
you should
with,
debate with someone that's. If you want to go and debate something about sugars, go and argue with someone that's actually read research papers. Here, I told you that in the very beginning. Did I not?
sure, sure. Okay, so you have a problem with me going up and confronting Dr. Michael Greger and arguing
That's
with him
my
on this.
biggest.
So, what's the issue?
That's the biggest issue. That's the biggest issue. It was
Right. So,
not a
what's the issue
formal.
on
It
that?
was not even. It's not a formal debate there. You just went up and confronted him, and you started videotaping him, or
Right. So,
that
it's
idiot
First
asked
Amendment
yourself.
protected speech. So, what's your problem with First Amendment protected speech?
It's just not the. It doesn't have anything to do with First Amendment speech. There, it's just not a good thing to do. It's not a nice
Why?
thing to do. It isn't nice to do there. Whenever I'm walking, if I'm walking around in an expo and I'm up there smelling the flowers, I don't want someone coming and raining in on my parade. You went down there and rained on Dr. Gregor's parade. You know what? I'm not saying that you
He
should
could
have sniffed
have
his ass
just
or
said
anything like
he's
that.
not interested in arguing at any time.
You wouldn't have accepted it there.
Sure, I would have.
I know, cousin. I know you. I know you wouldn't have accepted
There,
it.
there are people on my
You would not.
stream who
You
challenge me
would
to
have. You
debates,
would have
and
not
I
let
just
him.
tell them I'm not interested.
Richard, you would not have walked away from that situation. That's not your personality there.
Sure,
You
sure.
would have continued.
Maybe I would have
You would have
asked him, like, are you sure? Like, it's just a simple topic or something, or maybe, but like,
remember
he's a
when
grown up. He can just say no.
he is a grown up there,
So
and he
it's
made the
wrong
choice
to
to
go
say,
up to an adult, a grown up, and ask, would you like to argue about this? That's inappropriate.
it's not. It is inappropriate there in that particular situation. The other thing is actually going and just videotaping the whole thing.
Like, by the
You went
way,
up there.
you realize the same guy is spreading very harmful misinformation about diet, nutrition, drugs, and he has refused to take any criticism. So do you
Oh,
think I might have, like, a moral duty as somebody who considers themselves like a leader in the vegan community to call out harmful bullshit within my
yeah,
own community?
you have every right to do so, but on a formal platform
Well,
here,
if he's not
Richard.
going to agree to it, then what am I going to do?
He didn't. You didn't even give him a chance. You just went and openly confronted him, and then you started
Okay,
videotaping.
by the
Then you
way,
put it,
by the way, by
Richard.
the way, you
Richard,
can look at the video, you can review the video yourself. I went up to Dr. Greger, and this is word for word what happened. I said, hello, I believe your stance on erythritol is that you should avoid it, correct? And he said, correct. And then I said, well, I disagree. And then Dr. Greger was the one who told me to give my argument. He's the one who told me to give the argument, and you're saying that I was the one being inappropriate.
Yes, and I'm going to explain why here. Okay, so let me just ask this one simple question that'll clear it up there. When you approached Dr. Greger, did you already have the cameras rolling?
Well, it was the friends I
Did
was
you
with who
have the
decided to
cameras
film.
already rolling?
I don't
So
know. It
your
was
intent,
them who was filming.
no,
My
that was your
camera
best
wasn't
buddy.
even used. I didn't even bring my camera or video equipment.
You had your friend ask yourself up there filming. So before you even confronted Dr. Greger, he already had his camera
Plenty
running
of
there.
people were filming and taking photos. Like, that's what the
But
event is for.
is ask yourself your friend. Is he your buddy?
Okay, it's First Amendment protected speech. So do you have a problem with
Oh,
filming?
don't give me this first.
It's
Just
First
because
Amendment
something.
protected speech. So do you have something against filming? Are you against the First Amendment?
So if I walked up to you and just called you a fucking nigger, there, do you think that's going to be appropriate?
Well, in Canada, that
It's
would be
First Amendment
considered,
speech
that
there,
could
isn't
be
it?
considered hate
It
speech.
if I called you a Alabama porch monkey and just walked up to you, okay, I'm exercising my
Like
First Amendment
again,
speech.
again,
But
you're
is it
this is
right?
a
Is it
weird
right to do?
marginal okay, by the way, this is a weird marginal circumstance because you're talking about something that could be construed as hate speech. So you should
If
probably, like, if you're going to use
it's
an
still the First
example.
Amendment. If I walked up
Sorry,
to you and
sorry,
called you a
sorry,
chocolate face, there,
sorry. In
would not be weird.
Canada, we have something that is equivalent to the First Amendment. We do have in our law books freedom of speech, but there are exceptions made for hate speech, whereas America doesn't do that. Now, I'm against hate speech. I know a lot of people disagree with me on that, especially some tarred fucking conservatives, but you're just giving a weird example where you're using First Amendment protected speech that happens to be hate speech, which I'm against, and is illegal in my country. But like, just use
I'm
an
not. I don't.
example that
I'm not
personally
familiar
insults
with Canadian.
somebody. It's just
Richard, I'm not
disanalogous. I didn't
familiar.
walk up and call Dr. Gregor the N word.
But
Like
you went
that's the
and
point I'm
started. Your
making.
friend started filming the minute you walked up to him there. Before you started, so you
I don't
had an
care. I'm
intention.
not my friend, and it's First Amendment protected speech.
Okay, so whenever the whole situation ended, even though you didn't film, how were you able to get it up on your channel? Where did you get the video from? You got it from your friend
I'm
Ask Yourself.
sorry. Is it morally wrong to film people in public spaces?
No, it is morally wrong to go and start filming there just in order to go and confront people. That's my opinion about it. Now, I'm not familiar with Canadian law there. The only thing I'm familiar with as far as Canadians are concerned is maple syrup, Justin Bieber, and
We have
Michael
the same
Bolton.
freedom of speech laws. The only difference
No, we
is
don't.
we do. The
No,
only difference
America's
is
a lot different.
Canada makes exceptions for hate speech, where hate
I
speech
can
is
walk.
prohibited.
Look, in America, I can go up there and call someone a fucking cracker there, and that's not hate speech. It's not.
Again, I just told you
Again,
we
I
have
didn't.
the same free speech laws aside from hate speech.
Okay, Richard, where did you
Hate
get the
speech
video
isn't
from there?
protected.
Richard, you already said that you.
From my friend Ask Yourself, another guy who was there,
Okay,
Riley,
then there you
another guy who
go.
was there, Matt. So what does that have to do with anything?
You
Do you think it's
you
morally
had
wrong
this,
to film a public
Richard.
figure in a public area while he's doing, like, literally there for media reasons, to be filmed and photographed with viewers of his?
So you're trying to say that you didn't plan ahead that you
No.
were going to go and film and confront. So all of a sudden, there, ask yourself, just thought it was a good idea just to go and start filming while you were even walking up to him. Now
That's
I saw
at
the
that
video there.
I
He
don't
was he,
care what,
your
like,
friend.
none of
Well,
these details
Richard,
seem to matter at all, but for one thing,
it matters.
just to clear things up, I didn't go
Did
there
you have
with the
it planned there?
plan to confront Gregor. Gregor just happened to be there, and then Ask Yourself said, like, hey, you should probably debate him on something and see what happens. And then I'm like, yeah, sure, why
Well,
not?
you had it planned ahead there. You saw him there, and you came up with a quick plan, and you went and confronted him.
Right.
You
Okay.
know,
So I didn't go to the event with the plan of confronting Gregor. That's my point. I went there actually specifically just to meet James Wilkes, and Gregor just happened to be there. And then Ask Yourself had the idea of just seeing if he'd be down for a debate. And again, when I went up to him, he told me specifically to make my argument. So, like, you're complaining that I went up there inappropriately to confront him when he was the one asking for it.
but you initiated contact there.
What the hell does
He
that
had no
matter? He's
choice
a
but
grown
he
up.
had no
He's
he
not a
had no
7-year
choice
old.
but he had no choice but to answer your question there
That's
because
great.
he already
Well,
saw that
no,
you were
he's a
already
grown up.
filming
He
there.
can refuse
So
to
for
answer. He
Richard,
can say,
he already saw
I'm
that your
kind of
friend.
tired and it's not really the right setting. If you want to debate me, you can just contact me through email. He could have said anything like that and I would have been fine with
You
it.
you wouldn't have accepted it. I don't believe one word you're saying about that.
I
I
can't
don't
compel
believe you,
somebody to speak.
Richard. You are lying.
I
You're
can't
lying about that.
compel somebody to speak.
You would not have accepted it.
I
And
can't compel somebody to speak.
you would have.
If he said, it's kind of, I'm tired and there's a lot of people that are trying to meet me and it's just not the right setting for it. If you want to debate me later, then whatever. Or he could have just said, I'm just really not interested in, these sorts of debates. Then what am I going to do? Am I going to
Yeah,
hog
and then
tie
what?
him and force him to debate me?
No, what you would have done there. Let's say that he would
Yes,
have just
tell
said
me
that
about
there,
your
and you just.
crystal ball that can read my mind. Please tell me about that.
I don't need a crystal ball. I just know from your past behavior there. You would have went on, made a video, said that he was too chicken shit in order for him to go and debate you, and then you would have showed the film anyway of him walking away. That's how you work there. That's how all
No,
you vegans work.
no,
That's how vegan booty
no,
works here.
no,
Yeah,
no.
you've done it before. You would have said that he was too
well,
chicken.
I've done that. I've done something similar to that before with people
There we go. Then you would have.
who have made arguments against me but refuse to engage with me directly. That's clearly
Ah,
cowardice,
you're
and they
saying
should
that
be
you would not
criticized for that. Dr.
you
Greger has never made any arguments against me or expressed any interest in debating me before. So if he were to say, like, look, I'm just not really interested in these sorts of debates, then I'd be like, okay, whatever. Do you mind if I just take a picture? Like, that's all I would have said.
and you wouldn't have went and bashed him saying that he was too chicken to debate
No.
you. Bull,
How would
bull,
I know if he was too chicken
bull.
shit to
You've
debate
done
me?
it
He could have
before.
refused a
Bull,
debate for
bull.
plenty of other reasons. He may have been unprepared. He may have been busy and not had enough time. He did have a lot of people standing in line for him to meet him. So there could have been plenty of reasons why he wouldn't be fucking interested.
Bull,
What do you
bull,
mean
just
bull?
plain bull. It's bull.
Okay,
You would have
do you
just
have
you
any
would have
what fucking basis do you have to make a claim like that where you can read my mind somehow and
your
like
past
tell the
behavior.
future in alternate universes?
Your past behavior
Uh-huh,
dictates
great.
it there.
Okay. So again, you're not
Maybe
really making an argument for why anything I did was immoral or wrong in some way.
well, perhaps we should have one of those studies there to see whether we put a line of different people there and see whether you go and make a video about it there.
Okay, well the
It makes
fact
no
is
Richard, it makes no point of difference here. You may not have you may have went to there. I will accept the fact that you went to that convention thingamajig in order to meet this other person. You happened to see him, and then you just came up with a quick plan. But I seriously doubt, and believe me, I severely doubt that you would have just accepted him walking away. And if he did walk away, you would have just shown the video of him walking away, and you would have just called him
there
a
would have
coward.
been no
Too
video
chicken
to
to debate.
show. Like
Yes,
I
you
don't care about.
whatever,
Look, I
whatever.
would do that in a case of somebody like Penguin Zero, who flat out refused to debate me, even though he like made up a bunch of lies about me, attacked my character, made arguments directly against my position of veganism. Yeah, if somebody like that refused to debate me, clearly they have enough of an interest in having like this sort of argument with me, but to refuse debating me and having a face to face or online conversation, like that's clearly cowardice. If Dr. Greger, somebody I've never met in my fucking life, just said they don't want to debate me because I for reasons I wouldn't really know. It could be he's tired, not really in the mood for it, whatever. I wouldn't make a fucking video saying, "Oh, that guy's a fucking pussy."
Hard to believe there, Richard. I mean, really.
Okay, well, you know what? Like the fact is, I went up to Dr. Greger at a public fucking event. Everything I said and did was First Amendment protected speech. I wasn't rude to him in any way. If anything, he was rude to me. He was like getting really close up in my face. It was hard to see like the expression on his face, but he seemed like really angry. And he was waving his hands around like really aggressively, and he was the one who
Because you
actually
went up there.
initiated physical contact with me. If anything, he was the one being rude. So
You
what's the
walked up
fucking
to
problem?
Richard. You walked up to him there. You went and confronted him. You and your buddy started filming. I'd be upset too. Just caught off guard and surprising someone like that there.
He could have
No, you
said
don't have to,
he's a
Richard.
big boy. He's a big boy. He could say, I don't really want to be filmed doing a debate like this. I just feel uncomfortable.
You wouldn't have accepted that. I don't buy the fact that you would just go.
I would have been fine with that. Maybe I would have like pushed him a little bit like, are you sure it's just,
Uh,
I've wanted to debate you on this for a while or something, but like again, if he would
you
just say,
you
yeah, I really don't
aha, you
want
just
to,
Can I just say
I would have
one thing
accepted
real
that.
quick?
I said aha.
So I'm
I
on
saw you just said it there. You would have pushed him. See,
Goodrum.
you just meet it. Who are you?
This is Dr.
I'm
Avi.
Dr. Avi. Nice to meet you.
Who is this? Doctor Who?
Dr.
I'm
Avi.
Avi.
I don't know who that is.
He's a vegan medical doctor.
What
So
do
I
you
know
want?
the person who recorded Dr. Greger. I know him very well. I know Isaac very well. And if Dr. Greger were to be uncomfortable and say like, "Oh, listen, I'm uncomfortable being recorded," I can tell you with high confidence that Isaac would stop recording.
Like it
I'm sorry, I
was
didn't hear what you said. I had a
it.
donation coming in. What'd you say?
What
Could
I
you
what
repeat
I
that?
said was, yeah, what I said was that the person I know the person recording very well, and if Dr. Greger were to have said, "Listen, I'm uncomfortable in the situation where I'm being recorded. Could you please stop recording?" He would have stopped recording.
And by the way,
But I don't.
even though it was a public event, it is in a private building. So we're filming there with the privilege granted to the event managers or the building managers or security. So and again, I've worked as a photographer, I've shot events before, so I'm well aware of the laws regarding this. If I'm asked to stop filming at a place like that, I would just stop filming because, again, it's on the privilege granted to me by the event manager or the security or the managers of the building.
You don't get it there, do you, Richard?
I don't think you get
You
it.
don't. I get it there. I'm basing it on my if I Richard, I'm gonna just tell you right now. If I was gonna go and I wanted to go and debate someone there, I wouldn't have directly just walked up to him there out in the middle of nowhere or so forth and would have said blah 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 this. I would have said if I was gonna even walk up to him, I was like, hey, look there, I would like that I have some differences in opinion about the subject there. Can I write you something there and we can go over it there? I don't think that that was the right time, and I think that was the reason. And like I said before, I watched the video. He was quite upset that you walked up and had the other guy that was filming there. I think he was upset, but you just went and said that you would have pushed him a little bit. That
Right,
if
and
he
he's
tried to
not a
walk away,
7-year-old. So if he wants to,
doesn't matter,
again, if
Richard.
he wants to say, no, I'm sure I don't want to be filmed, I would have respected that request.
No, you wouldn't have.
Yes, I would have.
The
Again,
request absolutely
You
would have
don't
been
have that.
respected. I can tell you as someone who knows the person recording it.
again, and
Were
again,
you the
I've
one that
worked as a
recorded it?
photographer before.
I
The
thought
only
he was
reason
asking
I'm
yourself to
allowed in
record
the
it.
building and to film is on the privilege of the managers and people at the event. If people start complaining that I'm filming them without their permission, I'm going to be asked to leave. So I don't have an interest in that happening.
But but when it comes to filming there, that's just filming around and stuff like that there. Your filming was the purpose of confronting this Dr. Greger stuff here.
Okay,
Okay.
and he never told any of us that he was uncomfortable with filming.
I don't think he was in the position to tell you otherwise
He
there.
absolutely was. He's a fucking grown up. He's not 7 years old.
Have you spoken with him about it since then?
No, why would I?
Well, Richard, I would go and
Like, I
speak to
don't
him
really
about
know
you.
him. There's no way for me to really directly communicate with him. So I don't understand why that matters.
He has an email address.
Why do I care what his opinion is? He didn't tell me not to film.
Boy.
Yeah, first of all, he didn't walk up filming him. Like the film started. If you look at the first frame of the film, it took place where the interaction was already occurring, and other people were actually filming him already.
I already saw the video.
I know you saw the video, but the point is that they didn't.
Richard was walking. Let me finish what I'm saying there, because I don't know who you are. I don't know who the blue hell you are.
Timestamp at 000 and 8:22.
Yeah,
Those are the
whatever.
first frames.
But he was whenever the film started, he was already filming, and you were already walking up to the man. Okay. Now, if you had done that to me there, if you had walked up to me like that and started filming, I'm like, hey, what the fuck are you doing there?
Okay,
Yeah,
and if it
clearly
were
you don't like that, and then if Gregor might be different, and if he didn't like that, he can say that. You're a big boy. If you were to say that, go express that your uncomfortability with filming.
First
Great.
cut out the big boy stuff there. I don't accept that there.
What's the issue?
Hey, and here's the reason there. Okay, and I'm just going to explain this again. In my opinion, there, what you did was highly unprofessional. That is my opinion. This isn't a matter of agree to disagree. That's my opinion there. What you did is something that I wouldn't do there,
What do you mean when you say it was unprofessional?
It's unprofessional just to go up and walk up to someone and start debating them about a subject while filming there.
But
That's something that
that
they
does,
do.
that's not helping me
That's something.
understand what you mean
It
by
reminds me
unprofessional.
of those people in Hollywood there, to where they'll just rush up to someone with cameras there and start flashing and just start asking and yelling off a bunch of questions and stuff there. Now, maybe that's acceptable to you two vegans there or so forth, but not acceptable to me. Here's what I would recommend doing there. He has an email. Why don't all of you three vegans get together, have yourselves a broccoli sandwich there, and just have a formal debate? You know, that's all I'm asking you guys to do. But as far as Dr. Greger is concerned, and another thing that I'm kind of disappointed at is that he is a leader in your vegan movement and stuff. And like I said, I got no bone to pick. I have no dog in the fight in this particular sugar substitute argument whatsoever. I just think that it should have been more formal. It should have been more professional. What you did was, in my opinion, unprofessional. You may not think it wasn't professional or anything like that.
I don't even know what you mean by professional. You every time I ask you to tell me what you mean by that, you invoke the term again.
Well, I go and send some. I'll tell you how I go and ask people questions there. If I have a disagreement with someone there, I go send them an email saying, "Hey, I have a disagreement. Can we discuss things here by phone, by correspondence,
Okay, well,
even
that's
an
what you would
online
do.
debate?"
You're still not explaining why what I did was unprofessional.
I just explained it there. It's something that
So
I would
something
not
that
do.
you wouldn't do is by definition unprofessional.
By what you did, yes, it's unprofessional there. You know,
What is it
no, James,
unprofessional in
James,
virtue
I'm
of?
not
Is
going
it
to
in
ignore him.
virtue of
I'm
the
gonna,
fact
I'm
that
just
you wouldn't do it?
maybe. Excuse me.
He's trying to figure out why it's unprofessional. You simply telling him that I wouldn't do it that way. That's not answering his question unless your answer is what makes it unprofessional. It's just whether I would do something or not. So how about you try to
Okay,
answer
it's
him?
one thing. It's one thing to walk up to someone and ask him questions. There, it's another thing to not only walk up to him but just start filming. Richard asking questions there. You know,
Why is that not
I would
professional?
have been. I would have been more. Here's the thing. I would have. I would not have said anything if you had just walked up to him without filming there, without any general interest of putting it out on YouTube there.
Why is that unprofessional?
I just explained it.
So
I mean,
by
do you have?
explanation, you mean it's
I mean,
not. You mean
seriously,
it's something you
do
wouldn't
you
do?
maybe it's somewhat of an age difference or so forth. Maybe I'm just kind of old school. I mean, I am a lot older than I believe I'm a lot older than both of you or so forth. Maybe it's just my train of thought. It's just the way that my mom raised me or so forth there. I think that's probably more of a type of thing there, to
Cool.
where back in my day there, we wouldn't do stuff like that.
Cool. So
I just
by unprofessional, we
maybe
just
maybe
mean
maybe in your what is it? What are y'all, millennials or so forth? Maybe in your millennial age you may find that acceptable or so forth. Not a Gen Xer like myself there. But that's just me
so
there. I've
so just to be
explained
clear,
okay,
what we
I've
mean by unprofessional,
explained
just so I'm clear, what we mean by unprofessional is that which a given individual or individuals would do at a give based on their age. So if you're more old school, doing that which the old school would do in the situation makes it professional, and doing not that which the non-old school would do makes it unprofessional. Is that right?
if I was gonna walk up to someone, the last thing I would be worrying about is going and filming the whole thing going down there. That's just not me.
Okay, you're just telling us
It's
what you
one
would
thing
do,
to okay,
what it
let
wouldn't
me
do.
finish.
Then this is
Hey,
not
hey,
helpful.
pal, let me finish what I'm saying there.
The reason I'm interrupting you is you keep giving an answer that doesn't answer the question that's being asked.
If you don't like my answer, then fuck off.
Well,
Then
it's not the issue that I don't. Well, it's not just that.
you
The
just
issue is
jumped up.
that
I'm up here talking to
yeah,
Richard, and
the
all of a
issue
sudden you
is
decide to
the
jump.
issue. Yeah,
You tried to
he's
jump on
guess
me.
what? Richard's a big boy too. If he doesn't want me here, he can remove me.
Well,
The
I didn't.
issue.
Well, Richard didn't even tell me you were coming on here as
You're a
well.
big boy. You're a big boy too. If you have a problem, if you have a problem with it, you don't have to be here either.
You just came up here by surprise there. I mean, that's
I
another thing.
yes.
You just jumped in. You
Is
jumped into the
is that
conversation
also?
there.
I
I've already,
imagine.
hey, buddy,
I
shut up.
imagine this is
Let me
also
explain something
unprofessional
to
on
you
your
here.
part.
I've already explained the
Mhm.
position there. I
I,
think it is
mhm.
unprofessional to go and walk up to someone and start talking to them and then starting up a film there. Your purpose of
Yeah, we
actually doing
got
that is
that.
so you can put it is just to put it on YouTube there. And if he had decided to walk away, Richard, in my opinion, and again, this is my opinion here, in my opinion, would have probably made a supplemental video saying that he was too chicken shit to debate there. And then you would have played the film of him walking away. You want to know why? Because Richard's done that a bunch of times before.
Okay, so again, you didn't
What?
position
What?
was,
And what?
so
And what?
and now you're interrupting me.
Yeah, I
So
know. Damn.
again, so okay, well,
Again, because
well, listen,
I don't know
if you're gonna ask me,
you're
listen,
at.
not
I
to
don't know
interrupt
who the
you.
blue hell are you.
Okay,
I
so
know
I'm just
nothing
gonna,
about
all right,
you.
so I'm just gonna point out that once again, you've just restated that you consider it unprofessional. We already got that. You said that about 10 times now.
But you're asking me why.
Yeah, but when we
Because
ask you why, you just restate
because
that you
I
wouldn't
said
do
so.
this.
That is the
Oh,
way
it's
I was
unprofessional
brought up
because you
here.
said so. Okay, thank you. Yep, that's what makes it unprofessional. Is that right?
Because I said so.
Because
And
you
that's
said
the
so.
way I was
Okay.
brought up there to where you don't do stuff like
Okay,
that.
cool. So we just have different views on the matter. Then we have different values, and we don't share your values.
Well, obviously you don't there.
No, I think we think your values are horrible. Like
How are my values horrible?
they're horrible in the sense that they're antithetical to our goals.
But I still would accomplish the same thing
No, I don't think it
without
would.
trying to make some money, without trying to make some YouTube money on it.
It's not about. Well, for me, it wasn't about. I mean, I'm happy this made it to YouTube, and it has nothing to do with money. It has to do with exposing his
You kids
greedy
these
plan.
days, I tell you what.
It has to do. It has to do with getting the truth out. The truth of the matter is that this individual, while many people would come to his defense about all the good things he's done, he has spread a lot of misinformation. He's stretched the envelope of science, and he's caused a lot of harm doing it.
But I
And
don't
he
care about it.
refuses.
He's a vegan, you're a vegan, Richard's a vegan there.
Yeah,
I'm not a vegan there.
I don't
But
care.
one thing I am is this here. I'm someone that just oh y'all cut it out. Y'all cut it out there.
What?
Here's my whole thing there. Okay. I've explained my personal values. I explained how I was brought up there, you know. I don't like ambush debates here, you know. I think it's unprofessional. I think it is professional there,
When you
you know.
say ambush debate, you consider an ambush debate walking over to someone while recording and saying, "Hey, listen, I do you have this view on erythritol? I disagree with you." And the person says, "Oh, let's talk about it then." You consider that an ambush debate, right?
Well, what was the purpose of filming?
The purpose of filming was to get it out on YouTube. It's content.
Exactly. So you had an intended plan to go and get it out on YouTube.
Yes.
Right.
What's the problem? Wait, what's the problem with that?
By the way, he's a public figure who is a YouTuber and was being filmed at the event the entire
Do you think
time.
that was like a gotcha or something? Like, what? Of course.
Well, he would. The thing about it is that he was damned if he did, damned if he don't. He either goes and debates Richard there,
He doesn't know me, by the
or he
way.
walks away. Richard makes a video calling him a chicken shit, and then just publish him walking away.
By the way, when
They
you
do
say
that all
that,
the
damned
time
if you
on
do, damned if you
Foxes,
don't,
they do it
he
on
doesn't know me. He
CNN.
doesn't know what I'd possibly do if he refused to debate me.
Well, it's not damned if you do, damned if you don't. I mean, there are many things he could have done and to come out honorable in that interaction.
I've already explained my position. Do either of you two vegans have any other questions for me? Because I mean, the thing about it is eventually, I'm sure that Dr. Greger will get back in touch with you in the event that you actually formally write him, which is the one thing that you should have done to begin with. And like I said, all three of y'all can
By the
go
way,
have a
I have
broccoli
formally written.
sandwich,
By the
have
way,
a
I have
celery
formally,
smoothie, and go and debate about some
excuse me.
sugar substitute
No,
here.
well, no, because by the way, I have formally written Dr. Greger multiple times on several issues that he was wrong about, particularly heart disease reversal, and he refuses to engage when
Did you make a
brought up.
video about it on your YouTube channel?
And that is what? Sorry.
Did you make a video about it? Did you go and tell everybody else that he was too chicken to debate you?
I made I don't know if I said that on YouTube specifically, but yeah, I'll make it known.
Did you say it on YouTube or not there? Yes or no?
That he was chicken shit? No, I didn't say that he was chicken shit, but I did say that he wouldn't debate. Yes.
That's the same thing.
No, it's not.
That's the same. That's the same thing. Why?
No, it's not.
Why are you beating?
No,
why
it's
are you
not
beating around the mulberry bush?
one is a statement. One is a statement of a matter of fact, which is true, and then the other one involves some speculation of one's motivations, which is not may or may not be true. So to say that he refused to debate, or to say that he refused to even engage in the discussion, that's true, and that's a matter of fact.
Yeah, and Richard would have done the same thing there,
and that would have been fine if he would have walked away. And
again,
said, wait.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
If he would have walked away, and Richard would have said, "Well, Dr. Greger refused to engage. He refused to have a discussion," without saying he was a chicken shit, that would have been fine, because that is just a statement of a matter of fact, which is true. He's not speculating on Dr. Greger's motivations. He could have had good motivations for it. But the fact of the matter is he didn't.
Well, while you're discussing that, was there since you already wrote him numerous times, did he write you back giving you a reason why he didn't want to debate you?
Yeah.
Did he give you any reason?
Yeah, he said that in order for me to debate him, I need to publish a paper against someone else's, against Dr. Ornish's view. And until I do that, which is, by the way, an insane epistemic bar to set, that he wouldn't engage me in a debate or talk to me about it.
Well, that's his right there.
I know it's a way. No. No one can. That's not in contest. No one's contesting about whether that's his right. That's a very low bar. It's also, the things that you have a right to do just means you're not going to be thrown in jail if you violate it or fined. Okay. The question is that something an honorable person will do? And the answer, in my view, the answer is no. You can be dishonorable. You have the right to be dishonorable. You have the right to do a lot of bad things.
Okay. Well, let me ask you a question there. Do you really want to debate Dr. Greger?
Absolutely.
How bad do you want to debate him?
I would make pretty badly. I mean, I think it's a very important issue that he's done.
And you want to know what my advice is? You better get started on that paper. And once you write that paper and you've filled out the standards there, he'll debate you.
I don't. By the way, I'm not convinced he will follow through with that even. But sure.
You never know until you try. You've not written the paper. I think that's. Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. That sounds very reasonable.
Well, it's not just writing a paper. You have to write a paper. You have to go through peer review. You have to do revisions. You have to publish it. You have to get in. So you have to do all this work on someone else's view that I think is just nonsense to begin with. And I just have better things.
Are you afraid of doing work? Well,
I just answered that. I said I have other things to publish right now.
Then I guess you don't really want to debate him.
I do want to debate him. I just don't want to cater to his insane epistemic bar of engaging in conversation.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you
this. It's like someone saying, like, hey, if you really want to debate me, I want you to dunk your head in the toilet. Like, okay. Well, I guess you don't want to debate me that much because you're not dunking your head in the toilet. Like, no, I'm not catering to your nonsense.
Okay. So I'm going to give you this thing here, okay? Now, Richard already knows I work for Verizon Wireless here. So just to let you know, I used to work at Verizon Wireless. I started out as a customer service representative. I wanted to get a promotion to becoming in consumer relations here, okay? I asked my boss as far as to what I needed to do in order to be promoted to consumer relations. I was told I had to write a paper. I was told to write a reason. I had to list my expertise, my education, what I would do in the position. I also had to do a flashpoint presentation there in order for them to decide whether I would be in consumer relations. Do you know what I did? I did everything that they asked me to do. You know what happened? I got promoted to consumer relations here. Now, it is possible that I could have not got promoted there, But the thing about it is that I definitely would not have got promoted there if I hadn't done the things that was asked there.
Yeah, and
you're claiming that you want to debate him really badly, but you don't want to put the work in order to debate him. The things that he specified there. I'm going to be honest with you, because this is such a complex subject. Since this is a complex subject, to what you're debating. I
You
find
realize
it very
writing a
reasonable
paper is a
to
little
do that.
different than writing like an essay, right?
Yeah, I think he doesn't understand what that means. What goes into that?
How much does it
You're
even
saying that
cost
you're
to
saying that you want to
actually?
debate him. You're wanting to
Okay,
debate him, but you're not willing
I'm
to
not
put the
saying.
work.
Okay, to be clear,
Why in the world should he
I'm
go and
not
debate
saying.
him?
Wait. I'm not saying I want to debate him at all costs.
You
I'm
just
not
said you
saying.
wanted to debate him really. You just said
Yeah,
before you
really
wanted to
badly
debate
is
him really
not at all
badly.
costs. Those are not the same thing. I'm not
It is
saying
the
I
same thing.
want to debate. No, it's not. No,
Okay,
I
then.
What
want to
would
debate someone badly, but not at all expenses.
like Avi? What would be the like actual financial cost to publish a paper like that?
It depends where you publish. I mean, my last
Right.
publication costed me $3,000, so it's like out of my own pocket.
Yeah. Yeah, so it for really shitty, unreputable journals that are online only, sometimes they only charge fairly small fees, like 250, 500. But if you want to get it published in a good, reputable journal, you're looking at thousands of dollars.
Well, has Dr. Gregor written those types of papers?
No, he hasn't
No.
done any published research at all.
He has like one letter in some nonsense journal somewhere that wasn't really anything of anything.
Well, it sounds to me like y'all got a problem there.
So you think it's sensible that Avi would have to spend roughly $3,000 of his own money just to publish a paper, not including the hours worked and all that crap, just to be able to debate Gregor? You think
I
that's
also
like
had, and
reasonable?
that's not including the fees that I had, the thousands of dollars of fees I had to pay the statistician to even work on the project.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, the total cost of that paper was over $5,000.
Well, there's always GoFundMe. Or you can do like Richard does, and you can work for money there, and you can come up with the money in order to do all that research papers and stuff.
Yeah,
It's
so
a,
to
it,
be-
what,
so
you
to
know
be
what I'm
clear-
hearing. What
wait,
I'm hearing is excuses there. That's all I'm
Yeah,
hearing.
well, what you're hearing
I
is
wanted
that
the thing
what
about
you're
it is
hearing, what you're hearing. Wait, no, you made an accusation of me. What you're hearing is a representation of me being consistent with my motivations, which is just to say that I want to debate him really badly, but not at all costs. At some point, if he puts the restrictions high enough, if he puts the bars to entry high enough, at some point I will say, you know what, I don't actually care about debating you to that degree. Just like any other person who wants to debate someone very much would say that.
in my opinion, I think that what he's asking for is reasonable.
Okay.
Now you may disagree with that. I think it's very reasonable, given the complex subject there.
Yeah,
The
spend
thing about it is, if you want-
$5,000 to get a
think about-
paper published, and you have no guarantee if he'd actually debate you.
Yep.
Richard, if you want something very badly, you got to do what you got to do. Do you think that Verizon is going to pay me $100,000 a year just because I asked? That's the way. That's the way.
But there are
That's the way
certain
life.
things that they
let me
ask you
fin-
to
hey,
do that
let
you
me
would refuse, right?
let me finish
If
what
they
I'm
ask
saying
you
there.
to dunk your head in the toilet, you wouldn't. Presumably, you wouldn't do that for the job, right? Or maybe you
But
would.
that would never be asked there.
That doesn't answer my
But
question.
the standards for me, was very
Okay, what if your
high.
boss wanted you to
and a lot of
perform
people-
sex acts on him? That's something that would realistically be asked of you.
Come on,
That does happen in the
let's
workplace. That is
let's-
realistic. So would you have sex with somebody
skip
to get
the
a promotion?
Hey, Richard, skip the bullshit here, okay? If you want I wanted that job in consumer relations bad. It's reasonable. Dr. Gregor didn't ask you to have sex with him. He didn't ask you to dunk your head in the toilet or anything like that.
Yeah,
I did the things that I needed to do to be promoted in consumer relations here at Verizon.
Dunking your head in the
No one is
toilet's
gonna
fucking
go and
free.
I didn't have to go and dunk my head in the toilet or anything like that.
You know,
They
yeah.
sat down
By the
my
way, it would
company-
be easier.
Let me, you keep it. Hey. I did the
easier to
things
dunk
that
your
I
head in the
needed to
toilet
do
than
in
to
order
spend
to get my
$5,000 on
promotion.
money.
I did the things I needed to do to get promoted there. If
Yeah,
you don't
because-
want to write the research paper,
no
that's
one
perfectly fine. You don't have to.
No one disputes.
And as
no
a
one's
result, you don't get
disputing.
to debate Dr.
No
Gregor.
one's disputing, my man. No one is disputing that you did the things you needed to do to get the job. What's being pointed out here is that you wouldn't have done anything under the sun to get the job, right? And that's the
what
same
he's
thing.
asking is under the sun is did Dr. Gregor ask you to dunk your head in the toilet?
No, but he asked me to do something that would actually cost me even more.
Well, then go do a GoFundMe or something there, if you really
Or
want to debate.
in that case, he asked me to do something that would, first of all, it would still cost me
Hey,
more.
you,
My
hey, you
time,
guys are vegans. Y'all can work it out there. Come up with the money or
that's
so forth,
just
or go
that's a
back to them and
very,
ask for a different standard of things. Here.
that doesn't follow. Being vegan is a very, very low moral bar. It just means you
Do
have
you want
enough.
me to go? I can go
You
and
have,
email Dr. Gregor and see if he
excuse
can
me,
give you a
it
discount on
doesn't
the
follow
research
that if
paper or throw in some
doesn't
bucks or something.
it doesn't
You
follow
want me to go do that?
excuse me. It doesn't follow that if we're vegans we can work it out. And the reason for that is because being vegan is just a very low moral bar. All that means is that you have enough integrity and willpower to not stab other creatures that are living and suffering on your whim for your taste pleasure of a hamburger. That's all being vegan means. You're not. It's not something special or anything like that. It's just the bare minimum of being a decent person.
So,
And
are
not even
we
a
going
decent
now
person, a
into
pretty shitty
are we
person.
going into a debate now on veganism?
No, I'm just pointing out to you that it doesn't follow that if we're both vegans, then we can work things out.
You're arguing with me about not being able to debate Dr. Gregor because he said some general
To be
standards.
clear,
I don't
to be clear on what my position
Richard,
is, I don't want you misrepresenting my position. To be clear on what my position is that Dr. Gregor has put standards on, has put barriers to entry on debating this topic that that is damaging to the community, and he parrots all the time in talks, and his barriers to entry, on my view, are not reasonable, and they're excessively high to the point where I'm not willing to meet them. That's my view.
then you can't debate him. Plain and simple.
Then I won't. Well, it's not that I can't. It's not.
I mean,
it's that I
the
won't.
only acceptable thing to
It's
do
that I
is just
won't.
go.
It's that I won't. It's that I rightfully will not end up debating him. Just like if someone asked me to dunk my head in the toilet before I debate them, I wouldn't.
Oh boy! So you're comparing writing a research paper or so forth and doing all that as comparing to him asking to have sex with
That's
you.
That's a bigger ask. That's a bigger ask.
100% would dunk my head.
So if he went back to you and said that you would be able to debate him if you dunked your head in the toilet, would you do it?
Oh, if he said that, that would be I would actually have more. I might not end up doing that, but I would consider that more seriously because that's actually yeah. By the way, that's a lesser. I want to be clear because I don't think you understand what goes into this. Dunking your head in the toilet is a much easier task to complete than writing a paper and getting it published. By far, by a long shot, both in terms of your time, in terms of your money.
Okay. So here's what I would suggest doing there. I'll play Dr. Phil. Okay. You don't want to do this research paper or so forth, and I don't believe it's a good idea for you to go and confront people and start filming or so forth. Have you thought of any other alternatives, intermediary, or so forth? A neutral party that can go and speak to him on your behalf.
Yes, I have. James Wilkes, actually. James Wilkes has tried to make that happen, and there's still refusal. And they know each other well.
Okay. Did he give him a reason?
Same reason.
Research paper and everything?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How much money you got in your bank account?
I'm not answering that question.
You know where I'm getting at, right?
No, I don't know what you're getting at, but I'm just not going to reveal that personal information about myself on a stream.
Okay. Now, look, I don't know all of you vegans or so forth there. Someone else is... Oh, this must be Ask Yourself there. But what I was saying is... What I'm actually saying here is this here, okay? Dr. Gregor set down the standards here. It's his right to set down the standards if he wants to go and debate them there. If you don't want to go by his standards as far as debating, well, tough titty there,
I just want to clarify two things, because there's two things you said that are not true about me, so I just want to clear them up. Vince, if you watch that video, I don't walk up filming. For the record, I don't think there's any problem doing that, but you concede that's false, right? If you look at the very first frame, I'm not even filming in it.
Did you go and film eventually?
I'm asking you if you concede that when the interaction starts, it does not begin with me walking up filming.
First off, I don't even know what you look like there. You know.
Oh, well, I mean, sure. Here, you can see me in the frame.
I mean, you got a cartoon character on your profile there. And
Yeah,
when I
my
looked at
face
your
is out
YouTube
there,
channel,
though.
you're having, huh?
I said my face is out there. People know what I look like, and I can easily show you the video if you want. But you
Okay,
can
I've seen
see.
the video. So who was? I mean, so
Yeah, I'll show you. No,
I'm not gonna do
yeah.
the Abbott and Costello routine as far as the who was on first. Who was filming?
Well, no. But you said false things about me. I just wanted to clear up the false things, which is I did not walk up filming. So if you look at this here, look at the very first frame. I'm gonna just post this in where do you want this? In the general chat, maybe? Where do you want this, Richard? Where should I put this shit?
Yeah, general chat's fine.
Sorry, I don't know the way around this server. Where is the general? Live? You want it just in live?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, I don't seem to have permissions.
Post it in memes. I think anybody can post there. Yeah, memes,
memes
or tea time.
Yeah, so like if you look at the very first frame of that video, Vince, you'll actually see like I'm standing there with the brown pants. So you don't even have to agree that's me. Everyone can tell that's me, but I'd just like a concession under the assumption that that is in fact me in the first frame, that it was false when you said that I walked up filming. I didn't.
Let's take a look at the video again here.
Yeah, totally.
All right, 1 second here.
I'll also just post a little screenshot
Well,
of
no,
the
Richard
first
still
frame.
has this video up on YouTube.
Yeah.
So
I posted. Yeah, I literally just posted the video for you in memes. But I also in 1 second. I also in memes just posted a screenshot where you can see the timestamp 001. That's me standing there with my hands in my pockets without a phone. Right.
Well, I'm gonna go check Rich because I'm not really good at this Discord stuff there.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'm just saying you can save time if you look in the memes channel. I posted the video and a screenshot showing myself not filming in the first second of the video.
Hang tight, hang tight.
Sure.
Let's see here. Where's the? Sorry, I don't pay for YouTube Premium. I'm too cheap.
No worries.
All right. All right. So in the first frame, someone is standing behind Dr. Gregor. And
That's not me though. No, I got you. I'm glad. Now that you're looking at it, let me just guide you so you don't have to narrate through it. You see the dude, tall dude, 6'3", left-hand side, black coat, brownish pants. That's me.
That's you.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not filming.
All right. Like I said, I don't know what you look like. So who's that filming behind him?
I'm not
That's
entirely
Riley.
sure, but oh yeah, true, it's Riley. But
Well, you would have to know because Richard was able to put it up on his.
oh
channel
yeah,
there.
yeah, but you just think about it for a sec, Vince. You're sitting in a group of people. People are like moving around, rotating, filming. I'm not gonna know who's who at every given moment, but I'm just looking for just a really simple concession. I just want you to say that you were wrong, that I was filming at the start. I'm not filming. You can see my hands are in my pockets.
Yeah, you're not filming. But
Okay, so just to be clear, so I just want you to say this. Wait, Vince, just 1 second. I just want you to say I was wrong when I said that you were filming at the start.
I said that you weren't filming.
Will you say that you
Did
were
I not
wrong?
say that?
I'm just doing the ego. I'm just doing the wait. I'm sorry. 1 second. I'm just doing the ego. Sorry. I'm just sorry. 1 second, dude. I'm talking. 1 second. I'm just doing the ego test, right, to see if you're capable of actually just saying that you made an error, or if it's something you're not capable of doing. Like, it's very obvious to everyone I'm not filming.
Based on the fact that I don't know who you are. Now,
Okay, but wait. Sorry, I didn't even hear you. 1 sec. You're talking too fast. Wait, just stop talking so quick. Just slow down for a sec. Slow down. I just want a clear. Vince, don't even try. It's not going to work. I just want a clear answer to this one question. Clear answer. No waffling around. Will you say I was wrong to say that you were filming at the start of that interaction? It's just a yes or no.
What I'm gonna say is kiss my ass, motherfucker.
Okay,
now,
so just to be clear, Vince, wait just a second. I just want a clear answer.
Here, okay?
Wait, just to be clear, am I filming at the start of this video? You said that I was. It's obvious that I'm not. Can you just, because this is the thing, is you kind of said something that implies you're wrong. You said it doesn't look like you're filming, but you won't actually say the sentence. I was wrong to. I was wrong to say that you were filming.
Okay.
No, I'm just testing.
Here's
I'm just
the
testing.
answer.
I'm just testing your intellectual honesty, and I'm just going to do it one more time before you go, so you can kind of choose to show that you're incapable of admitting error here. But I'll just try one last time. Will you just admit that you were wrong when you said that I'm filming at the start of this interaction? It's a simple yes/no question.
Kiss my ass, motherfucker.
I'll let that speak for itself. This guy's probably just
Good.
not capable of admitting error. Seems
Yeah,
that
it's
way.
pretty dumb.
All right.
I'll get the fuck
Peace
off
out.
of here.
We'll
Now,
see.
getting back to things, who is that standing behind him then that's filming? Since it ain't
that
you.
was another
I don't
guy
know.
in our group of friends, Riley.
Okay. Now, let me make one thing clear. The reason why I had him pegged as that, because he has a cartoon character on his profile there, you know? Okay? I don't know what the motherfucker looks like, okay? So who's that standing behind him
I
filming?
think we've exhausted like this conversation pretty much.
Who is standing behind Dr. Gregor filming?
I just fucking said
Who the
a
hell is
guy
it?
named Riley in our group of friends who was there.
So it was so it's one of your vegan buddies there.
Yeah, basically. All right. Anyway,
Oh my God.
I
So
don't
you're
think this
getting
can
on
go
my
any.
case because I got one of your vegan butt buddies mixed up with another one there. Okay. The point I'm trying to make is that film actually started and you were up there walking before then. So there was an intention to go and catch him on tape
I don't
and start
care.
arguing.
I really
that
don't
is
care.
that
This
is
is going
ambush
nowhere.
debating here. Okay.
That's great. This is going nowhere. All right. Well, thanks for coming on and wasting my time. But
Well, I was up there on
Uh-huh.
my live stream, minding my own business, smoking
Uh-huh.
a cigar and having some drinks and stuff
yeah,
like that.
it's my
okay?
fault ultimately.
You
I'll
ambushed
admit
the guy,
that.
okay? You went and ambushed the guy, and your butt buddy, ask yourself, there is up there saying that, well, because I couldn't identify one vegan from another vegan. Oh,
Right,
come
sure,
on. That's why I said to
sure.
kiss my ass, motherfucker. He has a cartoon picture next to him, so I don't know what he looks like here, okay?
Sure.
I mean,
Well,
okay. I don't. Okay.
Well, take care, Vince.
I
Maybe
don't know
if
what he looks
we
like
want to
there.
debate veganism in the future, we'll debate that or something. But
Well, yeah, all you vegans, Dr. Gregor and all, y'all go have a celery smoothie, broccoli sandwich, and debate formally. If this other guy doesn't want to go and write the research papers that Dr. Gregor doesn't want to do, then that's too bad there. Like I said, I
yeah,
got no dog in the fight there. You know, you vegans can go and circle jerk with yourselves there. Okay.
sure.
Meantime, I'm gonna have myself another drink. I probably will have another smoke. I say good day to all of you vegans here. Okay.
All right.
You
Well,
guys are
take
getting
care,
on my, you
Vince.
young people are getting on my nerves here. Okay.
Sure.
Let me get back to my fucking drink. All right.
All right.
Bye.
Peace. Oh boy, that was rough.
People are disgusting.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I kind of like if I ever like had a view like that, or if I ever acted like that. Yeah, I don't know. I would walk around in shame.
Do you want me to put you to sleep if you ever become like that?
Yeah, like if I ever become like that person, like please, like just euthanize me.
Okay.
Holy shit! Like I don't think I'd be like worthy of living. Like at that point, like just really just scum.
Yeah. Yeah, he's bad. Really, really bad. He's extremely evasive, and he's not even good at being evasive. It's just so obvious what he's doing.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, that's all
Yeah, take care, man. Enjoy the night.
for sure.